Well, of course, in the immediate chapter following this big expose of Charlie's text messages, of course, now we have new text messages leaked by some mysterious person who says that breaking, new texts show that Charlie Kirk believed Candace Owens was going insane, clearly contradicting all of Candace's claims. Well, guess what, guys? I've read these text messages, and this might be the most ludicrous accompanying headline to a post I've ever seen. So let's go ahead and take a look at what these texts actually say from Charlie to his donor. So, you know, sometimes you can walk into a party and you just kind of feel the energy. You're like, all right, this is a rockin' party. Looks like everybody's having a good time. Let's grab a drink and let's make some friends. And, you know, other times you walk into a room and you could just kind of feel, you're like, man, there's someone in here who's angry. I feel like this place is dangerous. I better get off my fisticuffs. So the interesting thing about what I do is that you basically are doing that all the time for the entire world, certainly the United States. And every once in a while, you get news cycles where you have to just recognize that there is some mystical force that caused everyone to go collectively, let's just go crazy. Everybody, we're going nuts, dude. The rules are out the window. Let's make chaos. Now, speaking of which, you know, the AG, the thing we talked about this morning where he's going to kill all the Republicans and their children. Guess how much coverage that story has gotten on ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS combined? 63 seconds. Wow. I wonder what that figure would be if it was a Republican that was running for attorney general. I'm just saying, like, listen, I know that we're crazy when we say don't trust the media, and it's a really hard thought experiment to think about, like, what if it was a Republican who said he wanted to murder the children of all the Democrats and also said that we should kill other, you know, cops or whatever. Like, I know it's a hard one, but I feel like they might have gotten a little bit more coverage. It might have gotten a little bit more, you know, a little bit more, but it got none because they are signing off on this. So, all right, good. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about right now is we are going to talk about the Candace Owens, unfolding saga where she released the text messages that indicated from Charlie Kirk that he was leaving the pro-Israel movement, which seems like a pretty fucking big deal given the fact that he was one of the most influential people in the country, and Israel relies exclusively on the United States support, both militarily and financially, for existing, you know. And then one day later, he got killed. Now, here's the thing about that. If you think that you are coming here to listen to me go, well, I guess that proves that Israel did it. That is, you must be new here. You must be new here, because that is definitely not what my video is going to be. But it's certainly not going to be, well, obviously Israel did not do it either. I'm going to explain what this actually means. And then I'm also going to show you some additional text messages that just dropped, that I just found. And as much as I want to tell you exactly what they are, I will just say this. They were posted by someone who thought that they were exposing that Charlie thought Candace Owens was crazy. That's like the headline that accompanied them. And what they actually exposed was someone leaning on Charlie from the exact position that they were talking about why he had to leave the pro-Israel. This has to be a donor who was leaning on him and telling him what to do. And they posted this conversation thinking, they're all, look, Charlie thought Candace is crazy. You're all, that's what you read there? That's what you got out of that, huh? All right. So anyway, we're going to do that. I have some great stuff. Hopefully I can get through this fast because I have some other great stuff that I will put at the end if we can, but there's actually very little likelihood that that'll happen. So I'll do other videos. Okay. But nonetheless, we're going to get right into it. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I would appreciate that. I'm fighting hard to bring you guys the news, and I'm doing a ton of preparation. I really did, dude. I did a ton of prep for this one. But yeah, so if you would like to support the work, you could like this video. If you're already subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed, you could do that, and I would appreciate it. Okay, now let's jump right into this thing. All right, let's listen to Candace talk about a circumstantial bombshell in the Charlie Kirk case.
3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me, okay? He did not express that to me, so I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people, and I am saying this because I hope that these people, who I think are good, will be inspired to come forward with that. Again, those conversations I had were off record. I honor that. If I say it's off record, it stays off record. But I'm hoping that watching what I am doing and feeling the energy that is rising across the world for people who want to know what the heck happened on 9/10, that, they will be brave and they will say, yeah, Charlie did the day before he died think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they?
Now, I think I understand that off the record would mean she's not supposed to say anything about it on her channel. Not like, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you who told me. But I could be wrong. I'm not a journalist. Either way, listen, Candace is going to Candace, dude. And that information right there, anybody who said those words to Candace Owens, whether you said off the record first or not, you really think that she's not going to find a way to get that information out? If you know what I mean? Like if Charlie said, I think they're going to kill me, and then he got killed. Like, I mean, what movie have you guys been watching, dude? And then also, this is coming on the back of the documented text messages that were from Charlie to his team that everybody has already seen, obviously, but it said he's leaving the, he's out of the pro-Israel game, right? Because they were bullying him. He was not going to be a person who can be told what to do, what to say, whatever, right? So if you guys, obviously, I'm sure that you guys know this, right? You guys have seen this. Okay, the Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this. They're leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause, right? And this was like 24 hours or 36 hours before he got killed. Now, I have thoughts on all of that stuff. I have thoughts about how suspicious we should be about who did what and all of that stuff. We have a million other messages we're going to look at. But I wanted to read this first and tell you why this message is so important to how everybody evaluates all of this, especially these new messages related to, his fear of Israel, whatever. Okay, this is from Charlie Kirk, April 7th, 2025. Okay, assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same about Donald Trump. In California, activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election, losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. This is the natural outgrowth of left-wing protest culture tolerating violence and mayhem for years on end. The cowardice of local prosecutors and school officials have turned the left into a ticking time bomb. Now, I'm showing you guys this for a very specific reason. Aside from the fact that it's Charlie speaking to us about something that ended up potentially ending his life, right? He was shot on a college campus by the exact people that he is referencing here 6 months previous. But the other is that this is circumstantial evidence the other direction, equally important. So like, let's look at all of this stuff. Let's look at how people are reacting to it. Let's dig into this, to Israel's conversations here. Like I told you, I have new text messages to show you there as well. But let's keep our eye on the prize. The idea that there is not background that would support the fact that left-wing radicals did this that is equal or superior to the fact that Israel did it is not correct. I wonder how much time the mainstream media spent on those studies that said that 50% of Democrats want to kill us. I feel like I didn't see that one on PBS either. But during that exact same amount of time, I think they made it out as if the ICE agents are actually here to kill anyone who's brown, as opposed to enforcing the law that we all have agreed to follow, because that's the way that countries work. See that right there? See that person who is not from the United States? You're allowed to stay here. You just need to do this, 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 and this. Those are our rules. Those are our rules. There's a process, there's a process. And then for a couple of years, they're just like, yeah, don't worry about that anymore. It doesn't matter. Do you want to make new laws? Oh, what the fuck? We don't know how to solve this shit. We just are going to not enforce it because of XYZ, whatever reason that we're giving. It's like, that's not how this works, dude. Round these people up, get them in the buses, and get them out of here. Exactly them, the ones who haven't subscribed yet. And I want them to like this video too. If you find someone who's subscribed, doesn't like the video, you threaten to put them on the bus, but you don't actually do it. If you think that this is not working or we need to get more immigrants or whatever you think, you need to make a new law, right? That's how conservatives who have brains and, manage society in an effective manner. That's how that works. And they're like, I know, but basically we can just do whatever we want. And then in the event that you start cleaning it up, we'll paint you as Nazi racist murderers, because then we get into power and it's like, we're going to just go ahead and just go what's on the books as the law. You can go ahead and write another way to do it. They're like, but I don't know how to do it. And you're all right. So we're just going to, enforce the law. And then the great mainstream media convinces them that that is some kind of Nazi fascist thing. Fascist. Okay, enforcing laws is fascist now, guys. Now, these are the text messages that I was referencing that I believe are going to be from an Israeli donor, because it's definitely Charlie Kirk, but the Israeli donor, and this is being presented this way. New texts show that Charlie Kirk believed Candace Owens was going insane. Okay, and then when you read them, you're like, you are interpreting this very interestingly. And what's Eyal Yakboy? You got a dog in this fight, bro? Got a dog in this fight? Now, I don't want to derail this, but I am going to finish the tangent really quick on immigration because I want to make something clear. I don't have sympathy for people who have not gotten their stuff up to code with immigration law, and I'll tell you exactly why. All I do is film, hang out with my family, and do jujitsu. We have a huge, they are family to me, and you want to know where they're all from? Brazil, okay? They are not from the United States. Some of them have become citizens. Some of them are in very early stage, travel visas, some work visas, whatever, getting green cards, all of that stuff. They're in all these different stages of the process, okay? There's a ton of them. Now, I'm not sure what other walks of life have you in such an intimate, long-term, close environment with people who are, if you're from America, then being on like if you've been on a jiu-jitsu team for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years. Okay. These guys are my fucking family. Like I would do anything for these people and the girls. Like these are family to me and I listen to them. Okay. I don't talk about things I don't know anything about. That's why I very rarely talk about the Israel stuff. I don't know anything about it. I know about the immigration stuff. I know a lot about it. And all of them somehow figure out a way to do it. So I think rather than complaining about the enforcement officers who are just doing their fucking jobs, maybe you could think of a way to help the people who might not know what they're supposed to do the things they're supposed to do. That would be much better energy for you to spend rather than, doing stuff like this, right? This is probably not going to help a lot of immigrants, most likely, and probably not help yourself either.
What the fuck are we even talking about here? If ICE shows up to your neighborhood, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. It's time to start fucking shooting at them.
You got it, guys. I realized like I don't even want to give this guy any airtime. You already knew, right? Like you already knew what he was going to say, right? I'm sorry. It's time to start shooting them. That's a different, we're going to look at some of that stuff in another video. But it's like, dude, grow up, okay? You think you're a net positive, bro? You're a net positive. I don't care what I am. I know, dude. It's easy to like tear everything down when you contribute nothing and have nothing, okay? Some of us work our fucking asses off and actually genuinely love this country and want everyone to prosper, okay? It's not our fault that you didn't graduate high school, okay? Jesus. I'm sorry that your daddy diddled you. That was mean. It probably did, dude. All right, now, breaking. New texts show that Charlie Kirk believed Candace Owens was going insane, clearly contradicting all of Candace's claims. Okay, read that. Clearly contradicting all of Candace's claims. Well, let's go ahead and see if these texts really do contradict all of Candace's claims. Here we go. All right. So over here, all right, you have, what I noticed immediately when I started looking at these is what? Like, what's the first thing that jumps off the page to you? Okay. So Charlie is the gray, right? Charlie's the gray. Usually when you see a conversation that you're having with someone and you've written a block of text and then the response is like 1/8 the size of yours, it means that you are driving a conversation that they are not as interested in as you are, right? It's one of those things. And as you read this, just keep that in mind, okay? So the end of this text message says, ADL is, quote, Jews last. Under Abe Foxman, ADL was, quote, Jews first. Charlie says, yes. He says, I watched the podcast, or he or she, I don't know who, whatever. I watched the podcast. Candace needs to say 2 things and this will stop in its tracks. So they're threatening her. Or him, right? He needs to say 2 things and this will stop in its tracks. They are fundamental conservative principles. And she didn't say either. Quote, Israel is not committing genocide. Quote, 30 dead, raped, kidnapped, and beheaded Americans in Gaza makes the fight in Gaza America first. This is not Ukraine. Now, I want to be crystal clear about what I am, like why I'm, there's more, but like, I want to be crystal clear about what the importance of this, right? This is clearly someone who is pushing what the talking points are going to be on Charlie, and they want to send it to Candace. I don't really know when Charlie would have had, I mean, maybe it's just Charlie's the person that they know that has access to Candace, and this is maybe when she's at Daily Wire, who knows, they're threatening to sue her, who the fuck knows, right? But so Charlie says, quote, "This is right. I'm really trying to help her." Okay? So the dynamic is, this is someone who is bullying Charlie and is or at least leaning hard on Charlie and is threatening something when they say, and this will stop in its tracks next, okay? They said, looks like many conservatives are taking the first exit off this train. Has Turning Point thought through what they are going to do? ? And Charlie says, it's being worked on. I don't do the silly virtue signaling stuff publicly. Fun times. What exactly is she talking about? Where does she get this from? I'm not being sarcastic. I'm so confused. Now, to be clear, they are not showing the text message where they outlined what Candace said. I find that very interesting, to be honest. I find that very interesting. Why is that not part of this big expose? That they were so, like Candace said something that they were so concerned about that they had this conversation, and then you clearly took that part of the conversation out. Okay. And Charlie is just asking what did she say? And then, so now I don't know. I think she has, and he doesn't answer and says, I don't know. I think she has entered a dark world of conspiracy. My guess is that is part postpartum behavior. It's not normal stuff, and it's everything. She's looking for the Jewish angle under every rock she turns over. Maybe someone Kanye knows. They seem to be going down the same crazy train, like a Svengali type guru with PhD in crazy Jewish conspiracies. And then Charlie just says, I've never heard of this stuff before. Okay. That's it. Those are the text messages that are in this thing that supposedly say that they contradict everything that Candace is saying. This in no way has Charlie saying that she's crazy. This is the exact opposite. He very intentionally deflected away from saying anything critical of Candace. Okay. The big circle right here is because he said, this is right. I am really trying to help her. What? Okay. And when he's saying help her, they try to imply that means that Candace Owens is crazy, or he thought she's crazy. Well, you referenced a threat. You referenced a threat. So when he says, I'm trying to help her, what he could very likely I would guess what's happening is whoever these people are, and this is why I never talk about these fucking people, dude. To be clear, is why I never fuck with these guys. These are extremely powerful people, right? You guys are like, aren't you fucking with them now? Nope, I am absolutely not. I am fucking with whoever this person is who posted this. I have no idea who this person is. I just am pretty good at sniffing this thing out. You know what I mean? It's like, if I knew what their name was, maybe I wouldn't be fucking talking about this. You know what I mean? But since I don't take it personal, whoever this is, in case you see this, you know what I mean? But the bottom line is the text contradict the headline is what this actually is. Now, here's another thing, okay? What did they say about her? They said, two very important things. Number one, what did they say about her? They said the postpartum thing, right? The postpartum thing is something they said, because here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you some people being critical of Candace. I want to show you consistent, repeated claims, because that is I'm not getting into the assassination. There's no way for me to know one way or the other about what happened with the assassination. But what I am very good at is sniffing out things like talking points. You right here see how they're interacting. Well, now I can go ahead and apply this to other people who are critical of people who are going after Israel. And I can basically say, these are talking points that are being given to them. So when you see them say this, see someone say this, you can assume this is probably coming directly from there if you haven't already. So right here, okay, and there was another thing too about that, though. The other thing is Israel is not committing genocide is the first thing he wanted him to, he wanted Candace to say. This is kind of the inverse talking points. And then he said, and 30 dead, raped, kidnapped, and beheaded Americans in Gaza makes the fight in Gaza America first, which is another important talking point to keep American sentiment towards supporting Israel. Okay. So I hope I did a good job of explaining that, because we're going to be talking about it after that. So now let's start looking at some people who are being critical of Candace, keeping in mind what we've now seen, because now that's the first time I have personally seen what the pressure looks like. Because what was Charlie always talking about? He was talking about the text messages he was getting. Okay. And we just looked at one. That is exactly the kind of thing that Charlie was getting, and he was getting them all the time. Okay. So Laura Loomer seems to be one of the people who is, on the side that looks like they probably get text messages also. Officer Tatum as well. I gotta be honest. I'm not even judging them exactly, right? If they took their money, like they pay an enormous amount. Now I wouldn't do it, to be clear. I would not, there's no way I would do it. Okay. There's no way I would, but not because it's them. I wouldn't do it for anyone. Like I can't take money that is going to lead to me, or that's going to require me to say things that are not true. I'll tell you a 100% on all three of my children's life story. Okay. I had an advertiser that was paying triple my rate that the other day. Right. And I got the ad read, everything. And I didn't fully understand what the ad was as well as I thought I did when they, first approached me. And they had paid in advance. Okay. It's a fucking big number, dude, like a big number. And when I got the ad read and I looked at it and realized what it was, I was like, dude, I can't promote this, man. I had to go to my ad broker and talk to them about it, because I'm like, I would not personally invest in this right here. Like, this is not something I would invest in. I cannot promote something on my channel that I would not personally put my own money into. Like, for me, bottom line, I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's just, I'm not trying to make myself out like some fucking saint, but that's just the way that it's just the way I am. And taking their money, and all you have to do is just agree that your opinion is going to be this, like that would poison everything that I do. Like it's like a wife who loves her husband desperately, and she could tell he's been over her for a few years and she's afraid he's going to leave her. And then he's like, what I think would be awesome is if we started swinging, or I would love to watch you with another guy. And she really, really, really did not want to do it, but she's in love with him. And she was just like, if this is what it takes to keep him, there's nothing about this that she's into. And she just kind of does it, and she's uncomfortable the whole time. And it feels like just the dirtiest thing ever. He's sitting there watching her. She's just doing it because she's scared to lose. Like, that's exactly how she feels, is exactly how I would feel giving opinions that are contrary to what I actually think. And I think that is actually probably the best metaphor I have ever done to try to get people inside of my head of how I would feel in a situation. That's exactly what it would be like. Exactly. Hey, you realize that in your metaphor, you are having sex with a man while another man watches you, and you're feeling uncomfortable, but you're doing it anyway? Yeah, that is the example that I gave. And that should show you guys how in tune with the female experience I am. Okay, I can relate to the girl in that situation and how terrible it must be for her to have to perform for some sick, demented guy that she's in love with. Did he? Just kidding. Those girls wanted to do it. Anyway, all right. So here is Laura Loomer, because I don't give a fuck about Candace Owens and her postpartum psychotic rants. Even if those texts are real, it still doesn't mean Israel killed Charlie Kirk. That's true. But let's also say something else here. Did she say postpartum? I'm sorry. Did Laura Loomer say postpartum? So wait, are we? I guess we're aligned then. That that's some kind of credibility. Credibility slander that they came up with, that she has postpartum, right? And that is why she is going all ham, right? I think that's funny that we picked that out, right? We picked that out together, you guys. Look at us. Detective work at its best. Even if those texts aren't real, okay. Candace Owens makes content for low IQ people who don't understand how criminal investigations work. It's going to be hilarious when she is sued by TPUSA in addition to Macron's wife. Oh, weird. That's interesting. So are you saying that you are party to who's funding the concerted effort to sue her and bankrupt her, like in frivolous ass fucking lawsuit? Here's the problem though, guys. Okay, I just want to make this clear. And obviously, I love Candace, dude, and Candace is a fucking savage, much braver than I am. But this is why I tell you I don't fuck with these people, is because as much as you can be a case lawyer and you can look at this defamation thing and be like, there is absolutely no possible way that they could prove that Candace did not believe these claims and had malice, when there's an entire encyclopedia of research that these other people in France did. That's impossible. That you cannot prove. You're no way you're getting over the burden of malice and a defamation in the American courts. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, I think I've made it pretty clear. They're like, yeah, but who decides? You know, you're like, I guess a judge. And you're all right. You understand who we're talking about, right? Like, you think that they can't get a judge assigned to a specific case? You think that they can't decide who and what is going to happen? You think they can't get a fucking judge that's going to do exactly what they fucking tell them to do? You got, like, that's the thing I never understand is like people don't see that like a judge is just a person, right? Like a judge is not some fucking AI bot that you know is programmed to only do just and right things. Because you know how many times they've had fucking like district attorneys in Chicago who fucking let guys off murder charges for like 10 grand back in like the 70s? Look it up, dude. Okay? So even if you know you got an airtight case, you don't know that when you fuck with people like this, which is why I don't, dude. Candace Owens somehow makes Charlie's memorial about her. The same guy, by the way. Last night let's listen to this. Let's hear how Candace made this about her. Okay?
Monday, Erica Kirk, man, she really is just the moment. The speech that she gave, everybody was just wowed by her. I felt my energy personally, like last night going into that, I was effectively like soaring in the air above the convention center, like a dragon above, waiting for Erica to just be like, fire. And I was just going to come down and swoop in out of nowhere. All the politicians, all the fake people, everyone was just going to be in that moment toast. But she didn't call for war. Erica did not call for war. In fact, she did the exact opposite.
Okay, so what she was actually doing there, guys, I know this is hard for some people, is she was making clear that where she stands in this whole thing is she has Erica's back for Charlie. That is what she's saying. I know some people don't speak this language, you know, and I'm actually surprised that the mainstream media didn't actually frame this. Like, Candace Owens threatens to burn an entire stadium of people into the ground. She's unhinged. You're all, hey, what about the district attorney who says he wants to murder the Republicans? They're all, well, he only said one guy and kids. She said the whole place. You're all, right. She also said she's a dragon. Oh, man, this world we live in, guys. We live in crazy town. But, yeah, guess what you guys have to look forward to in the next video I'm going to record. Destiny decided that the way to react when he found out that JD Vance wanted to pursue a criminal case against him in Florida was to acknowledge it and say, what an absolute pussy bitch on X, and then tagged JD Vance, the vice president of the United States. Okay? Like, this right here is the absolute ultimate example. And I don't want to step on my video because I got a lot more. There's a lot more stuff going on in that video, but you know the guys that you knew from high school or college who were very small, right? At least I'm thinking of two specific guys, okay? I wasn't like a huge guy, but I'm just saying like they were much smaller than me. Like, and they were the guys who were just yapping all the time, and they were like, "What'd you do, something, duh? You know, what's up, bro? What's up? Hey, what's up?" Always with a big group of dudes, and like, you know, they're like your boy, but then like behind the scenes, if like, you know, you'd be like, dude, someone's gonna fuck that guy up, man. Okay. The guy I'm referencing, his name's Blaine. Okay. Like my favorite one ever, my buddy Blaine. I love that guy, dude. But he had a fucking mouth on him, and he had a body that was not supportive of his mouth. And we always said, we're like, somebody's going to fucking starch him at some point. And one day, dude, little too lippy, and someone blitzed him and fucking flatlined him, you know? And it was like, so the thing about the internet now is that these guys have like mouthed off so many times with no repercussions that like this though, this is fucking crazy. Like this is one of the most reckless, idiotic things I've ever seen. I know he's already facing charges of whatever kinds of charges or whatever the fuck is going on, but like, I feel like for someone who thinks he's so smart about the government, he doesn't really understand how this works, dude. Just because there's been no repercussions thus far, like the world is not the same anymore. Trump has only been in office. Okay. JD Vance said he's coming after people with the violent speech not even a month ago. And you went like this, like this is the same as like my 8-year-old challenging Shaq to a fight. Like this is like, well, no, it's not, because Shaq wouldn't punch my 8-year-old. This like, no, this is just like Blaine, except, you know, he's talking to a Hell's Angel president who has stabbed the last 8 people who looked at him directly. You know what I mean? I know I have some HA guys. That was like, that's just a thing. Like, I know you guys don't. I wasn't trying to put you guys in on a case, dude. It's just a metaphor. You guys are tough and scary. I know you don't just go around stabbing people, okay? Unless they're Mongols. Just kidding, dude. I'm kidding, guys. This is a joke. Okay, I gotta go. No violence. Violence is bad, even for bikers, okay? I know it's fun for you guys, but like violence is bad. And I'm out.